Well, if you look at Canada and England, it could last a long time. And how they accomplish that is they take the healthy, this is what they intend to do, those say between 21 and 40, and they will pay extraordinarily higher rates in order to support the system than they would normally because of the low occurrence of physical or mental problems. But I called the bill the Barack Obama health care reform euthanasia program. Because what they're going to do is they're going to ration health care, and if you got something wrong with you that costs a lot of money, whether you're 13 or 63, you're dead.
Absolutely. We're going to be right back with Bob Chapman after this 4-minute break. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. The infrastructure coming down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It is Monday, and it is amazing. We're this far through the year. You know, it's not going to be that long before it's time to start getting the wood in, if you know what I mean. And I want to thank you for joining us today with Bob Chapman, who is the director, or the editor of the International Forecaster newsletter. If you would like to get a copy, a complimentary copy, if you've never listened to him before, never heard him before, or never read his newsletter, the phone number is 877-479-8178, 877-479-8178. Bob Chapman was for many years, as he said, 28 years in Wall Street. He understands the underpinnings, if you will, of the financial industry, and now his concern is that the infrastructure is about to go. Bob, what would you like to, or where would you like to take us with respect to the meltdown of the infrastructure? Because there's some evil, evil people out there that don't care what happens as long as they get their share.
Well, I think referring back to the gentleman from Tennessee early on in the program, talking about devaluation and bank holidays, I think what could bring about a bank holiday, and I think that is going to happen, and it could very well happen before November. And the reason I say that is at the center of the problem will be the U.S. dollar. On the USDX, which is an index of 6 other currencies versus the dollar on a weighted basis, in other words, to their value versus the dollar, the strongest one being the euro, which is around approximately 57% of 100% of that index. That index went from 89.5, and incidentally, we told people who were long dollars to get out at that point and go short, which many of those currency traders did. And today, it's 78.5. Now, that's quite a drop. Now, the low about a year and a half to 2 years ago was 71.18. We'll call it 71. So I think before the end of October, there's a good chance that the dollar index versus the other 6 major currencies could fall back down to 71.18. Now, if that happens, I think what's going to happen is what happened in a small way before, but is going to happen in a larger way this time, and that is foreign nations, but particularly foreign businesses, are going to refuse to take the dollar. We saw this about a year and a half ago, and, you know, you go to China or Argentina or Nigeria or any place to say, gee, we'd like to take your credit card in dollars, but we can't. We'd like to take your dollar bills or your American Express traveler's checks, but we don't want them. Mm-hmm. And this happened.
That's right.
Now, I think it's going to happen very extensively, and I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on the American system, and I think it's going to give government the excuse to shut the banks down for a few days, maybe a week, and to see what the reactions, the public reaction, is going to be to such an event, because when the event happens, checks are not cleared. You can't use your ATM card, nor your credit card or your debit card, and you can't access savings or any monies that you have in a bank.
Could it be, Let me just ask you, Bob, could it be that they're going to be linking the swine flu illness issue as they're now saying what banks should do if they have more than 50% of their people sick? Are they going to be linking that with the bank holiday so that they'll have a cover for doing this?
Possible and probable. Can't say for sure. It's an out-and-out guess. We don't know what's going on in their minds, what we learn about them, except through my special and other people's special contacts. We've got to back into everything. We have to be deeply steeped in history as to what other countries have done in the past and how they've tried to extricate themselves from problems. And so we have to say to ourselves, is this part and parcel of what's going on? And you may very well be right. It may well be that this is part of what they're up to. And we're looking at exercises of foreign troops on American soil this week. Why? Ostensibly, Americans are going to riot. Well, it's the first I heard about it. But, the point is this. They're preparing, whether we like it or not, to use foreign troops in America. So there's all kinds of things that they're doing. And you have to extrapolate your mind forward out of the box to find out what they are probably going to do.
Okay, we're going to be right back after this 3-minute break with more of Bob Chapman. And yes, there is a big military operation, 5-day terrorism prevention exercise. Welcome back to the Power Hour. Thank you for supporting the Power Hour today. And we got a lot of specials at the Power Hour. A lot of specials. All you need to do is call the Power Hour, 877-817-9829, 877-817-9829, and they will share with you what those specials are. We like to be able to give you specials whenever we can, however we can, because we want you to be able to have the best items that we can possibly find. So if you have an item that you think is really outstanding, that you made it or that it is one of a kind, give us a call at the Power Hour at 877-817-9829 or go to thepowermall.com. We're talking to our guest today, Bob Chapman, and we're going to talk to Anita Undersea in just a little while because food is going to be an issue, listeners. It's going to be a huge issue. As you all know, I got the request to attend a CDC meeting on the swine flu coming up in Washington, D.C. This is going to be a meeting on how to handle the people when the swine flu hits. It's not about the swine flu. It's not about the medicine or the science of the swine flu. It's about how to handle the people. And oddly enough, right in there it said how to deal with the food lines, how to deal with the people when there is not enough food. Now, that's going to be in a CDC meeting. Well, all I can say is please take notice. Our guest today is Bob Chapman. He joins us from the International Forecaster newsletter. And to get a copy of this, the phone number is 877-479-8178, 877-479-8178. Bob, we're talking about the swine flu and possible bank holiday, infrastructure melting away. And then I want to go back to the bailout because now they say that Obama wants another bailout. How can we possibly even be thinking of another bailout? They say 10% of the money hasn't even been given out yet, but look at all the jobs we've gained from it. Any truth to that?
None whatsoever.